we go. Turn down the music. Here we go. Sweet. We made it. 2019. Let's do this. Overflow Podcast, episode 2 with my boy Riley right here. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, actually.
Nice.
Thanks for asking. How are you?
Doing well. Man, it's already been a crazy year, and we're only 16 days into it.
Yeah, it feels like a lot has happened.
Yeah, it just everything just started really, really fast, and I know I had a bunch of things I had to do at the beginning of the year, but I didn't know how crazy it would be, you know. But yeah, this is if you're in the live chat room, thank you for joining Riley and I. We're trying to do this Overflow podcast. It's mainly a podcast all about web design, but mainly focused on Webflow and the community of Webflow and just all the cool things that come out of the product and what the people in the community make with it. So yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
So first thing, let's just chat about this year. This year, like, what things did you bring, Riley, from 2018 that you learned that you're bringing into 2019?
It's a good question.
Yeah, let's break the ice.
Normally, I try to do the whole New Year's resolution goal setting at the beginning of every year.
Yeah.
But I try to be really not general, but I try not to be too specific to where it becomes these unachievable things, you know?
Yeah.
I try to have an overall concept that I like to kind of push forward when it comes to just throughout the year. As I look back of what I wish I was a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the things I saw from last year I guess there's two things. There's stuff from a freelancing type of stuff, and there's more the personal type of outlook that I want to kind of increase or improve this year.
Yeah.
As I look back on those experiences last year. One thing I learned last year when it comes to just my freelance work is how this sounds like common sense, but how important client management is.
Yeah.
As far as really taking care of how you communicate with the client before the project, during the project, and even after a project.
Yeah.
And that's something I've always thought I did well, but as I listened to other people talk about it and how they take care of their clients, I realized I wasn't doing that. It was more great, I can do this. I'll get back to you when it's finished. And there's a whole lot more as far as that relationship can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hope in 2019, I want to improve that as far as how I kind of manage clients throughout the process.
Yeah.
To where they even feel like it's a better experience rather than just I'm gonna be here to do a task. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's as I watch my wife do her boutique agency with her business partner, I see that account reps, they're basically the babysitters. And so when you have to do it yourself, you're the designer, but you're also the bookkeeper. You're also the account rep or client relations, and you're everything. And so I call it babysitting because you gotta make sure that you are always communicating with your clients, and they're not babies, but you have to make sure that it's a great relationship, because if it's a good client, and they have their assets and their content, and they're always on time with everything that they need to give you, that you need to be on time with them. And
Yeah.
if that relationship works really well by the end of the launch or the end of the project, then they can help find you even more clients. And so yeah, it's a
Right.
huge part of freelancing. Mm,
Yeah, yeah. It's
mm,
definitely a craft, and I hope to kind of improve that craft
yeah,
as the year increases.
yeah,
And then on the other side of things, um, I kind of like wrote down a bunch of stuff, but a
yeah.
lot of it's centered around like being more intentional with my time, as well as create more and share more. One
Mm,
thing I wish I did more last year was shared more of what I created,
mm,
even if it wasn't just like a finished project, um, but some type of like creative activity that I was interested in, but just like sharing more of that stuff, um, and hopefully leading that to like learn from other people doing
mm,
similar types of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
What about you? Any 2019 outlooks?
Well, yeah. What I learned from 2018 and what I'm bringing to 2019 is a lot of empathy. You know,
Mm.
I have the great privilege to work under Waldo, and the things that you can learn from him as being a good human being
Mm.
is priceless. And he helped me throughout the year to understand how to be more empathetic. And I took those learnings and also placed that into my everyday life. And especially um especially when conversing with my wife. And my wife has some anxiety, and so there's times when I feel like, am I doing something wrong? Is it me? Or is there a situation, like, how can I help her? And there's just this thing of, I've learned, is there's people who just want to be heard, who just want to rant about something. And where I come from where my family came from, was all about, oh, there's a problem, I'm gonna make a solution right away. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just
Mm.
listen,
Yeah.
listen. Do not give any answers. Do not give any solutions. Just listen, because that's what a lot of people need to do. And listening, with empathy, is such a hard skill. You
Yeah, I was
know,
gonna say it's difficult.
it is difficult. And so I'm bringing those learnings from last year and bringing to this year. And I feel much more prepared for this year to just listen more.
Whoa.
Get
Special guest.
special guest. Hello. Good night. Bye bye. Good night, Nova. I did not
Surprise
expect that.
appearance. Wow, such a cameo.
I know, right? All right. So yeah, I did not expect that. And in 2019, I'm more prepared. And and same thing with going into our next topic, like, about life and parenting. It, you have to be empathetic, because your kid is just gonna run all over you, mess up everything, and you just have to be like, you know what? They're exploring, and I just gotta roll with it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It can apply to like any area when it comes to like human interaction.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. So, what about you? How's almost father life?
It's good. It's crazy how quickly things are beginning to pick up,
Mm-hmm.
which I might have said last time, but it's increased as far as
Well,
just like
yeah.
speed of life, especially like after holiday stuff, because that kind of slows things down.
Well, you have a lot of
Um,
distractions, I guess, in holiday, and then now it's,
right.
yeah. So,
So,
like, very soon,
w-
right?
yeah, we're gosh, March 4th is the date.
Oh,
So anytime before or after that, which is like less than a month or a month and a half, but
yeah,
soon enough to where it's like you kind of see the horizon of
yeah,
things
yeah.
changing.
Yeah, it's gonna change. So yeah.
But I'm excited.
Yeah,
Everything's in progress. So
that's good.
yeah.
That's good. All right. What else is happening in life right now?
January. It's weird. Like you're saying, so much has happened in
Yeah.
January. I feel like a lot of things have like maybe it's just the outlook I'm having right now because with the baby coming and then with my wife finishing her degree.
At the same time. Wow.
Yeah, and so like that's kind of the outlook to where there's a moment once like basically the end of the summer, there's going to be an opportunity to kind of be like what's next. And so that has been on my mind a lot as far as like where do we want to go next? Where do we want to like what place do we want to live in? Like what kind of job do I want? Um so a lot of stuff like that has kind of like been on my mind and has kind of
Yeah.
influenced like kind of how I go about each day.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm like right now I'm connecting with a lot of people
Yeah.
in certain areas we're interested in moving to. Um, but then on top of that, just normal like daily work and doing freelance stuff. And so it's like a lot of things I'm juggling, which are fun and exciting, but
Yeah.
it just like that routine just adds to that momentum to where you realize it's
Yeah.
the end of the week again. And
Yeah.
you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a lot of things, but it's a lot of exciting things. Like these next 6 months are gonna be wild.
Yeah. Most definitely. Just a tip for something I wish I would have done too is and I heard this from another streamer that I watch, but agree on a time where you can just be like you can have your time and then
Yeah,
she can
yeah,
have her time because like you both watching the baby 24/7 and both of you not having your own time to just cool
yeah.
off and just not think about baby, it's going to be tough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that same approach as far as like that becomes even more important as far as where you can find those moments um and really like take advantage of those moments when you find them.
Yeah. Yes, yes. You need those moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good luck with all that. Good luck with your freelancing. I know it's tough, but you know that's the game of design. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, what my life now is, shoot, a lot of community stuff. Just yesterday,
For
uh,
sure.
I and Austin. Austin's in the live chat right now. What's up? Um,
Oh, nice.
Austin and I went to Point Loma Nazarene University to teach this group of graphic design students, and I was there last year. I was actually there last year, and I did a Webflow workshop there, and then that professor from that class told another professor, invited me again, and it's cool because that professor she didn't know Webflow, but she was just researching all the programs that the last professor suggested to teach her students, and she came across Webflow, and after playing around with Webflow, she's like, "Whoa!" And then she had the thought of, okay, so you have Envision. Why do you even need Envision then? When you can just go straight to code. And I was like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
yes,
Good thought.
yeah. So Austin helped me teach the class. Did a presentation that should designers code presentation and workshop, and then by the end of it, the students were, you can tell in their eyes that they were empowered, they're inspired, and that's the whole Webflow
Awesome.
brand. And it was like
Yeah.
really, really nice to see, and that energy in that room. If you can, people in the live chat room, if you have a chance to teach someone Webflow and see the Webflow aha moment, it is magical. And Riley, you go to the St. Louis Webflow meetups, right? And have you
Yeah.
seen the Webflow aha moment in other people?
Yeah. I mean, you have like you have the excitement of the people who have tasted it and have just like come there to just talk about it more and be excited about it more.
Yeah,
And then you have those people who have never tried it out.
yeah,
And at the end of it, you can just see their minds turning of like, what does this look like? If does it mean I can do this now? Does it
yeah,
mean I can do that now? Like, can you do this? Can you do
yeah.
that? And it's all like, yeah, like you can do almost whatever you want.
Yeah, and
It's
it
awesome.
just, yeah, it just feels so good to watch that happen, you know. And I guess I can equate that to watching your kid grow up and learning how to crawl, learning how to walk, you know,
Yeah.
learning how to do something, you know, and you're like, oh, that's amazing, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what happened last night, and there was, but one person specifically, there's this one student in the front that I would just click on something, like turn something into grid, like I changed the display property to grid, and like well, I'm showing people on the live stream right now, I have my desktop showing. So what I
Oh,
did,
nice.
so the first thing I did was I went down and I was like, okay, everyone drag in a nav bar, and I let it go, and then the just putting in a nav bar component, and the guy was like, oh my god. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now let's go ahead and drag in a section, and then we're gonna make it a div. So section, and then we're like, okay, go to grid, and he was like, what? And so like every little step I did, he would freak out, and I'm like,
That's fun.
wow, this guy is really really loving Webflow. So it's
Yeah.
just amazing. So besides that, the meetups have grown. I think we started this year with like 19 or 20 meetups, and no, was it 19 or was it 12 something? I forgot how many we started this year with, but now we're already at like around 24, 25. And I also posted a blog post about how to start Webflow meetup, and a couple people immediately reached out and was like, hey, I want to do this. And so
Oh, nice.
this is nuts. It's what I'm hoping for, and I keep saying this on the streams, is this huge hype, all this energy, this offline energy of Webflow communities all around the world,
Yeah.
like getting super hype, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where like it's a no-brainer to do a Webflow convention.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I would, dude, you know what'd be so cool if we did a live podcast from the convention.
Oh, that would be so fun.
What?
That'd be amazing.
And seeing the live chat room actually right there sitting in front of us
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
yo,
Like,
what?
yeah. Whole new level of interaction.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. And like getting and inviting community members to go on stage and teach people, oh look, I learned how to do this, and just,
Yeah.
god, dude, like
One day in 2019.
I don't think that early, man. I think
Too early.
2020, because like if we're gonna do it right, if you're gonna do it right, you want to have good time, a nice set of time to plan and advertise.
True. That's true.
You know,
It's a bit ambitious.
yeah, yeah. If we wanted to do something smaller, more exclusive, then maybe. But I don't like exclusivity, dude. No.
Yeah. Although sometimes like that could be like not necessarily the exclusive part, but
Mm-hmm.
the smaller group could be like the next step that takes you to the bigger step of like the larger. I don't
Well,
know.
well, that's what the meetups are for. That's my like small steps Like
Yeah.
all these meetups growing bigger and bigger, bigger to the point it's like, of course we need a convention, but
Right.
where?
Yeah,
St.
that
Louis?
seems always true, Christian. There's a lot of cool places here we can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Um. So yeah. So what are we talking about today? Oh, all right. Let's get into Webflow topics now. Um. That style panel refresh. I know I just added this in the notes
Yeah.
without
No,
you
I'm glad you
knowing,
did.
but that style panel refresh. What are your thoughts?
So I've been waiting for this to happen on my account, and I keep seeing it happen on other people's accounts somehow, and I was really jealous because I was like, why isn't my account doing this?
You should
And
have
so
just
I was
asked.
super. I know I didn't want to I was like, it'll come eventually.
Okay.
But I was checking it out today, and I think it's great. Like like you definitely see just a more thought out approach to kind of like how these things are organized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the just like the individual panels, they breathe so much better
Yeah.
when it comes to interacting them. That was my big takeaway from it. It's just like everything just breathes a bit more.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as cluttered as it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Um, and then there's like, but there's small things. I guess I love it. I've been playing around with it for a long time during
Yeah.
the development of it because I was testing and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But the only thing that I have a small gripe about is the overflow icons. And I saw in the forum posts
Oh,
on the feedback that some people agree. And it took
yeah.
me a while to realize, wait, where's overflow hidden? And it's actually,
Oh,
yeah. Are you looking at it right now?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the center. It's the second button, and I was like, oh, okay. But I haven't though, and since this is beta, they're gonna take all the feedback
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
and yeah,
That's a good point. This is still
yeah,
beta.
yeah. So I
Um,
mean, you're not forced to use it. You can click the toggle at the top.
right.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool approach because I feel like it's just a good opportunity for this experience to be not necessarily rethought, but just like improved.
Yeah.
Because it's such a heavy panel. Like the layers panel can get kind of heavy, and the interactions too.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're starting out a new project, like you're hanging out in the styles panel a lot,
Yeah.
to where these new types of layouts can be really interesting when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to just how you find stuff without scrolling up and down to remember where like
Yeah.
the sizing was or something, you know?
Yeah. Takes a little bit of relearning, but
It does. It does.
it's not too hard. And here's the thing, going back to the workshop I did at Point Loma Nazarene,
Yeah.
um is that I was showing them how to use Webflow using the old styles panel,
Oh, really?
knowing that the new one was coming out today, and I felt bad, but I'm like, they'll get it, they'll
Yeah,
learn, they'll
it's
figure it
okay.
out, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, ooh,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it will be interesting to hear like more of the feedback for those who've been able to use it more.
did you see the feedback so far?
I haven't looked at it, no.
It's a long thread already. It's like 56 replies.
Oh wow. From just
Yeah.
like a quick glance, does it look a mixture of positive and negative or
It's a positive and negative.
Okay.
The thoughts about the overflow thoughts. There's people like, you know what, I don't like how everything is a drop down now, like the
Yeah.
display, for example, the display is
Right.
now a drop down with two categories of other and recommended.
Yeah.
My personal thoughts on that is, yeah, it should be a drop down because having five, was it five or yes, six buttons all squished
Right.
together in one row? Like, what if another display property comes out with CSS? You know, that's not scalable. You're gonna have like six across and then one on the second row, or
Yeah.
three and four, four and three. And it's like, you know what, drop down menu. And
Yeah.
some people say it's an extra click, but I'm like, eh.
Yeah. That's a good point too, as far as thinking of having this in place that will be able to accept newer features. What either that be like CSS, HTML elements, um, without just like crowding more of the panel. Now that they've been separated more, like you said, that it has that a bit more of scalability, which I would assume is like one of the points of kind of restructuring this, um, and creating more of that space to include newer things as those things happen in the future.
Yeah, yeah. That that's what I think. That's why I think they did that, because what's after grid? You know, like,
That's a good question.
yeah.
What is that?
If
What
something comes up,
and it,
it's gonna be AR,
it
display
it could
AR.
be. It could be. It'd probably be after like grid level 10 or something.
Okay.
Because I know
Um.
they're working on I think they're calling it grid level. I could be wrong, but I think they're calling it grid level 2.
Okay. What's grid level two? Here comes subgrid. I'm looking at Smash
Yeah,
Magazine
I
right
think
now.
right. It's all about the subgrid. Um which I don't understand it fully, but I think it just allows you to better organize, fine, like have a finer tuning of just organization of elements than you have now already in grid.
Hmm. Okay. Well, we haven't even.
To my
T-
very general understanding.
yeah. Well, a lot of stuff are still coming to grid. On Webflow, like areas and whatnot. They just got started, so we'll
Yeah,
see how
that's
that
fair.
works. You know, grid level 10, 20. I mean, when do you get to final boss level or something? Okay, I'm dumb.
That, that that's the question. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. So
Um,
styles panel.
yeah, all in all, I think it's a good it's a good refresh. But like stuff like this, it's also it's a very like to me like a very shiny new experience. Um, so I like that. Um, I'm sure the more I use it, I might run into some just gotchas as far as
Yeah.
interesting challenges that weren't there before. But
Hmm.
um, I like how more organized it is rather than just
Yeah,
stuffing a lot of things in one
I
drop
agree.
down.
I agree. The styles panel needed a refresh for a very long time.
Hmm.
But yeah, and I'm looking at the feedback thread, and one more thing I want to mention is, yeah, there is no center element button anymore.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, like all the center
Interesting.
element button does is just gives a margin auto on both sides of the element,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it centers it if it has a width or a max width, and yeah, that's gone. So it one click now is expanded to one, two, three, four, five clicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's an interesting point.
Yeah. So I wonder how they're gonna fix that. I'm actually gonna put a
Yeah.
heart on that one.
I think it would be certain like I think it's a good like it's a good question to ask. Like, do you really need that button
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like really question it to see if maybe they'll bring it back. I don't know.
Mm, we'll see. We'll see. And lastly on the styles panel, sticky.
That's true. That's true. That's very fun.
You played with it?
I haven't. I was watching the videos you guys released today about it, and it seems pretty fun.
It is. Yeah. It you just press one button and becomes sticky. You're done. Well, button and
Yeah,
then you add a position on the top and then you're done. But
right.
man,
No more custom code slinging.
yeah. So awesome. So awesome. Yeah. So let's go to the next topic. Okay, so the main topic of tonight. And yeah, and I really want to dive deep into this one cuz there can be two sides to this. Should designers use templates for their portfolios? And I was posting on a Reddit thread. Someone was asking, should I use WordPress or should I use Webflow? Whenever I see that on Twitter or Reddit or something, I immediately get on. I'm like, oh, of course you have to use Webflow. What do you?
Automatic answer.
It's like this itch that I have to be like, ah.
And they're like, "Wait, who do you work for?"
Well, I preface that I'm a customer success specialist or at Webflow,
Yeah,
and like I don't like to hide or try to sound markety. I just try to tell them the facts, you
yeah.
know,
No, that's good.
and I tell them my own personal thought of, you know, tell your story first on your portfolio before trying to sell your work,
Right.
and if at all possible, don't use a template because you want to stand out. So that was my thing, and someone replied saying, "Oh, I go through thousands of portfolios all the time, and I don't care about their story." Like I have a friend who had a basic templated portfolio, and he got a job at XYZ agency, a big agency, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. So your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I think this is really interesting, and maybe there's not as big of a dilemma that I would assume there is when it comes to like, okay, it's time to do my portfolio. Should I like build everything up from scratch or use a template just to get something out there? And when I was reading through that thread, the Reddit thread, um, I think, or at least I wanted to ask, like, can you still tell your story with a template?
Yes, you can. Yeah, there. Yeah, you can tell your story with a template.
Because I think there is something about like when it comes to the presentation,
Mm-hmm.
doing something off template can be interesting. Um, but I really think it depends on like what your like skills, not skill set, but what you're trying to do. Like if you're a certain designer who's not interested in like web development, you're more interested in like concepts, then maybe you use a template and really craft your story through just imagery and copy, um, to get that presentation right. And I think that can still serve it justice than starting from like from scratch and doing something a little bit different. Um, Whereas if you were someone who is focused on like building interesting sites, then I think that's where using a template would kind of be a missed opportunity to express how you kind of build out unique sites.
Yeah,
So I think it can be both. I think it just depends on what your focus is.
I can see that.
And if that yeah, and if that like if your focus lines up with using a template,
Mm-hmm.
I think that works. But if your focus is around towards something that would be better expressed if you didn't use a template, then you might consider doing something more customized.
Mm-hmm. I can see that point. I guess when I read, oh, and before I go into my thought, if chat, if you have thoughts on this, yeah, let us know, and we'll read it on
Yeah.
this. We'll read it on the stream, or like I wouldn't mind if you got on the stream with us. You know,
Oh
I
yeah,
can,
that'd be
I can,
fun.
I can give you the link. Should yeah, if you want to get on the stream and tell us your thoughts. But when I read that thread or that response, I felt like the gentleman was coming from a point from a place of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know,
Yeah.
did you feel that from that response?
I think I don't know. I don't know if I would say that. I think when I read it, I don't know. I think there was some misinterpretation
Hmm.
of what you were trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't want to read too much into it,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it seemed like there was some like trigger that kind of created this certain response,
Yeah.
and I don't think like the point of what you were saying
Yeah.
was clearly like received.
Should I let me see if I can read it out loud without I don't want to call this person out, but I'll just see if I can read some of it. Okay, so I responded with I said, where's the part? I said, if you're looking to build your portfolio site, go with either tool, Webflow or WordPress. But please don't use a template. When you design your portfolio, please do tell your story first instead of just showing off your work. I go more into this topic in this video I made. It's my YouTube video.
Yeah.
Um, and then this person said, that's rubbish advice, in my opinion. And that's Reddit for you. They attack first. Yeah, you know. I'm a designer with over 20 plus years of agency experience, and I have to sound like this because that's how he is in my head. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with using a template. Take it from someone who reviews over 2,000 portfolios a year. Wow, that's a lot. I don't care how great your story is. If it takes me more than 2 seconds to see your work, I'm deleting your resume. This guy's this guy's an associate partner at XYZ company, one of the best design companies in the world, and his site is an off-the-shelf cargo collective template. Just keep it simple. And so when I read that, I was like, uh, what's wrong? Um, what's wrong with showing your story first, telling your story, um, and also not using a template? You know, to me, it shows that you want to you're doing something different to stand out. You're learning something new, and you're not just going with the status quo. And also, what if I worked with this person, you know, what my life be like? Because it sounds like it's like, stay within the box. If you work for me, I want you to just, I only want to know you for your work. I don't want to know you for your personality. I just want you to work. And that's what it felt like to me
Mm.
with that response. And you know, me, I take it a little bit personal because I'm like, why can't people show off who they are as a human first rather than,
Yeah.
you know, and if I'm a human who wants to be creative and not use a template, that's what I try to empower people to do, especially Webflow now that you have the access,
Yeah.
you know. So that's
Yeah.
where I was coming from.
Yeah. And I think I feel like a lot of valid points were kind of like shot in the air as far as focused on your story as well, but as well as like you can maybe improve that story if you're doing something more custom.
Yeah.
but I still think you could have an effective positioning still using a template.
Hmm.
Yes, there's like kind of the template realm where everything looks the same, but I do think if you really focus on your story, people will see that first rather than, oh, this just looks like a templated site with the same types of stuff.
Yeah. Huh. See,
And I
see.
also I also think it depends on, I don't know, some people look at portfolios with a different criteria. Um and sometimes that just is a spectrum of values as far as what they prefer to see and what they don't prefer to see.
Yeah. I guess. I I can see that. I to me, if some if someone says no to your portfolio site, they'll delete your resume immediately because you want to have one small paragraph about yourself in the hero row or even the second row before you even show off your work. Um, maybe that's not the type of environment you want to work in. You know, so that's how I'm taking it. Live chat is saying Donald says when it comes to WordPress, it makes sense to use a template, but with Webflow, dude, there's no valid reason a designer should use a template. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Webflow, dude, I mean, you have the access. You have the access.
It's true. But I will say there are some pretty fresh templates that I have thought about using on Webflow.
Oh, and more is coming out. I noticed that we're adding more template designers.
They're so
Um,
good.
like okay, let me see here. I'm gonna click on portfolio and let's see what are the new ones. Video. Oh yeah, this one just came out by Web Dev for You by videographer Dahlia Moma Cleo. Jeez, man. Here, let me go to the new
Yeah.
one. I mean, I mean, but see, here's the thing with a template. Won't someone look won't someone look like you if someone's going through 2000 sites,
Yeah.
2000 portfolio sites, how do you make yours look different?
I still think you can personalize it enough to where you can still stand out. Like maybe it has the same template as everyone else, but maybe your site is not as far as like everyone's site that has like, hey, I'm this and I like this. Your site is like a bit more of a story where it's like, let me tell you about this and this is why I'm interested in all these things. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I think it could still be personalized enough if you go the template route to
Mm-hmm.
where you won't be kind of like just a part of the rest of the noise.
I can see
Um,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
But I
And
mean, I would say your point still holds as far as, yeah, there is a significant value in kind of doing something different.
yeah, yeah. So I guess it's both sides. And I think someone brought up in live chat and it's also about time. Um it says Austin is saying I don't know many designers who would want to deal with creating custom WordPress theme. I know a little bit of code, but honesty, time. My current portfolio and freelance business site is a WordPress site powered by the Salient template. I'm working on pushing a redesign. Yeah, time. It takes time to come up with a concept, and yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. It took me a whole year to redesign my own, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's tough. It's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
it can lean a lot of ways, and I think what really matters is just how you're positioning yourself. That's where I'll land.
Okay. Uh, and lastly on the portfolio thing, okalpha.co. I don't know if you've seen this site.
No.
They tweeted this stuff out saying, "Oh, we finally finished our portfolio site in Webflow." And they tell their story first, and it's not a template. And I was like, "Oh my god!" So it is nuts, but
Oh, this is great.
it's just so beautiful. okalpha.co, and it's story first, and then work,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff that I get excited about, and I want more of the web to be like this. Like,
Yeah. I
show
mean,
me
do you,
something
yeah.
different.
Yeah. There is something very refreshing about it.
And I know not everyone can do this, and it's tough to get to this level, but to push yourself to get to something close to this is worth it.
Yeah. I would agree.
Oh man, so just nice parallax effects when you need it. Oh man.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very clear. I like that.
Wait, they have their own merchandise. I've never heard of them.
Is this a Webflow e-commerce site?
I don't know. View source. Sure enough. That's awesome. Oh wait,
That's
no.
cool.
It's Shopify.
Ah,
It's the Shopify embed. They'll make their way over sooner or later.
no,
Probably
that's so
when
great.
probably when it gets out of beta, but yeah.
I like that site. It's nice.
Yeah. Good job to OK Alpha. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think it's an interesting kind of contrast. Because I mean, people are using both approaches. I mean, you have that that portfolio service. I think it's called Simplist
Uh. Simplice, or how do
or
you say it?
Simplice.
Or
I don't know how you say it correctly. But I mean, the stuff you can do with that is great. I've never used it, but I see like the portfolios in there, and there's some that shine.
yeah. But it's on WordPress.
Yeah, I think they use. I think. Well, I don't know how it works. I do know it plugs into WordPress somehow, but
Yeah.
I've never used it. Uh, but they're doing pretty well, and they keep updating their service, which kind of shows a lot of people
Yeah.
commit to it.
Yeah. I'm just looking at one of them right now, the showcase, and very boxy. It's
Yeah.
very boxy, and yeah, and so I guess this whole boxy thing of let me just put my work into boxes, even though the world of web is our boxes, but I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but it just seems so basic, and
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It has that somewhat general kind of feel, or at
yeah,
least like expected.
yeah, yep. So too long didn't watch or didn't listen. Do something different, maybe if you have time.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, yeah. Doing something different that no one else has done is what pushes everyone else to learn, right? like it pushes you to
Yeah.
learn, and then if someone says, "Oh wow, how'd you do that?" then you can teach them and they learn, and then it's just a butterfly effect. So, you know, stand out, be different, and yeah. It's not going to guarantee you a job, but you'll learn something along the way. Um, yeah. So next topic. How will more people be using Webflow in 2019?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So you
That's
brought this
exciting to
topic
think
up,
about.
huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and mainly,
Yeah.
mainly just because I had a sub goal to like use Webflow more this year than I did
Mm-hmm.
last year. And so I was just thinking like, how will this platform evolve? Um, and it's easy. Right now is easy to think, oh, e-commerce, like there's going to be a bunch more e-commerce, which there probably will, just because that's still such a fresh feature
Yeah.
that has such a roadmap of like just newer things that are going to be released throughout the year.
Yep.
Um, but my main thought that is, or at least I hope that more either individuals or organizations will see Webflow as just a creative tool to take their ideas to a more tangible level
Yeah.
when it comes to like a web experience. Even if they're not using Webflow for like the final project, but it's a little bit more of um, an accessible tool that takes their idea closer to somewhat of the reality rather than just the concept statically moving
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of where I hope more people will latch onto. Designer, non-designer, teams, individual, they see Webflow as this tool that if they have an idea of some type of web experience, they can somehow encapsulate that, even if it's just very like simple and not as fully developed, but
Mm-hmm.
it's out there reacting to the realities of the web, and a more realistic conversation can happen as far as where that idea can go next.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like the professor said at Point Loma, where it's like why do a prototype in like Envision where you can just make it real code, that
Mhm.
people can interact with. And yeah, I agree with that I hope that this year bigger companies, people, or at least people in higher positions than just the people who do the designs or development, but people in higher managerial positions see Webflow as a valuable tool to at least make prototypes that are much more clearer and much more interactive. So just reiterating what you're saying. So hopefully that works out. And I think going back to my tasks of meetups, I think that is just this one first quarter. I'm trying to get like 30 meetups in our Meetup Pro thing,
Cool.
and get as many people to those meetups as possible. And I think they will also tell two friends the next month, and they will tell two friends the next month, and so on and so on. And that's how more people will be using Webflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard not to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's, yeah. Once you've seen the potential and have experienced the potential, it's hard not to be like, yo, you should check this out, because there's nothing like it, and
yeah,
it can be really valuable.
yeah. Yeah, like I remember going to a front end dev meetup, and they were talking about WordPress plugins. And in my head, I'm keep thinking about like everything could be so much easier. Why are we
Yeah.
even talk? Why are we taking a whole hour to talk about this? It could have been easier with Webflow, but you know, you when you're trying to tell someone, look at this, you know,
Yeah.
the more you say that, the more they're like, okay, I'm not gonna look at all.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Push it too hard.
yeah, exactly. Has that ever happened to you where you push it too hard and it's like, okay, you really like this tool, you're can you like calm down?
Yeah. It's happened.
It's happened.
I mean, not like so brashly,
Okay.
but to where I was expressing like my excitement for it, but it was obviously like being not as received as I hoped it to be.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, fine, like I'll stop trying to convince you that you should check it out.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to show the love for the tool. You know,
Yeah.
to the point it's like kind of not kind of cultish in a way.
It can't, I mean, yeah, like you kind of have a group of people
Where
excitedly talking about this one thing.
and wearing the same Webflow shirts
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and joining these little groups in little offices called meetups and yeah, but it's not a cult. It's not a cult.
Yeah. Yet.
Yeah. And yeah.
We were talking about it like a big conference. We all come together.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
no, I get it. It's definitely like you want to talk about it, and yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like you talk to the people who have benefited so much from it that
Yeah.
weren't receiving types of value like that before,
Mhm.
and you just see a whole new realm that it opens up that people can jump into,
Yeah.
creatively,
Yeah.
um, which is just really cool.
Yeah. It's always fun. It's always fun. Um Austin says if Webflow was a cult, I would probably still use it. Cool.
A committed member.
Very committed member. Like he already has the membership card and everything and
Yeah.
special hat. I don't know. Um. Uh. Yeah. So other than that, announcements. So I have a couple of announce. No, I actually have one announcement. For Webflow stuff. The Webflow workshops this year. I'm trying to bring more of the Webflow internal community. That's what I call the Webflow staff. It's our internal community and connect them more with the external community. Because right now, it's only just me and Vlad who are talking with the community on our live streams. Um, there's a couple of Webflow staff that talk on the forums, but I want to do that more. And the first one is going to be so good. The first live stream with two staff members. At the end of each quarter, I'm going to have two staff members talk about what they do. The first one is going to be in March, I think the first week of March. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be in the headquarters studio, so we're going to do it big, do it professional, and it's going to be with Ryan and JP, our brand designers. Oh man, so I tweeted out today, what if you can learn almost anything from Ryan and JP, what would it be? And I got a lot of good responses, and so I'm making up some talking points and getting that, hopefully get that approved, and we'll make this stream like a live Q&A and also like learn from Ryan and JP just how the heck do they make some awesome marketing pages.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen a homepage like webflow.com, and it's nuts how they think like this. You know?
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
It like what would you like to learn from Ryan or JP?
Ooh, wow. Um, I guess it would just be, I mean, kind of what you were saying, just the thought process
Yeah,
of just
yeah,
how something like that is approached, and thought out rather than just like the execution.
yeah,
I think that'd be really interesting.
yeah. Like where where does he go to find these ideas and like how does he craft it or how do they both craft it in some magical unique way that stands out from all these other platforms? Like I don't know. I don't know. It's I want to learn so much from them, and hopefully everyone else can learn from them. That'd be so that'd be so nice just to hear what they have to say. So stay tuned for that, everyone. What else?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so so March is that one, and then the quarter two, I'm trying to get I'm gonna get Natalie and Jules, and so do you know who Natalie is?
I think I've seen her on the forums and maybe on Twitter.
Mm, so Natalie is the sister of Sergi and Vlad, and
Oh, okay.
she's the office manager.
Great. Yes, you were
And
talking about her.
yeah, and her team, she has a team of two, her and someone else named Jules, and they run the show. Behind Webflow, the one that makes sure that the office is is ready, all the equipment, anything that the Webflow staff needs, even remotely, if you work remotely, anything you
Oh,
need,
wow.
any
That's amazing.
question as far as office stuff goes or operations. I think
Yeah.
that's her title, office operations manager or something like that. But
Okay.
anything you need, you ask them and they find the answer as quick, like super quickly. And they're always on top of everything. Like if we're gonna have like an event or a retreat or something like that, um,
Yeah.
they're handling everything
Wow. That's awesome.
and also keeping the company morale and the company environment and the spirits high.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah, that's like very, I would assume, like a big task to take on. It's a very important task.
Yeah, like you don't realize it's not just code and design behind Webflow. It's these two women who are the foundation. They're the ones who are doing lots of the heavy lifting, so we can focus on our work.
Yeah, yeah. That's significant.
So we'll be
Man,
talking to them. What are you gonna say?
you got a golden lineup already started.
Yeah, yeah. Um, who else? Who else? So that's Q2, and then Q3, John Moore Williams and Mariah, and they do content strategy for Webflow. So the people behind approving the blogs, the people behind approving the jokes on our Twitter. Um, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
wait. Side note: did you see Vlad's poem about WordPress today?
What? No.
No. Oh gosh. Call. I think this is a good spot to end off on after this. But let me see here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely did
Here
not
you
see
go.
this.
Here we go. Let me scroll down. All right, here we go. Say the last two syllables after I say each line, and you have to say it in a pirate voice. Ready?
Wait. What are we doing again? Sorry.
Scroll down to right after his look at his Twitter account, and then scroll down right after the Google, eBay, Microsoft
Okay.
logos.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last two syllables after the end, in a pirate voice. Here we go.
Okay, I'll try.
As I push out a Webflow deploy.
And sip on an ice cold LaCroix.
No, you're okay.
Oh, sorry. I got too into it.
Okay, go ahead. You say it, and then I'll be your hype man. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Start over.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Let's try this again.
Okay,
I
let's
like
go.
being the hype guy.
Oh, you like being hype? Okay, here we go. As I push
Yeah.
out a Webflow deploy,
Deploy.
I sip on the ice cold LaCroix.
LaCroix.
I select a competitor to annoy.
Annoy.
Into WordPress, I say, ahoy!
Ahoy.
I found you as a wee young boy.
Young boy.
For 10 years, you were my best toy.
Toy.
Now it is you that I must destroy.
Destroy.
For you simply must. I messed up. For you simply no
Oh.
longer spark joy.
Joy.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
I know. And I asked Mariah, I'm like, did you ghostwrite that? And she's like, no, that's all him. I'm like, how does he do it?
That's awesome. And it has like the rhythm and everything.
I know. It's like, yo ho.
That's
Oh,
great.
man. Yeah. Thank you, Vlad, for all your jokes. But, man, shots fired.
Yeah. Just a bit.
Just a bit. Oh, and I have LaCroix with me right here. Yeah, not sponsored. Not
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
I have the off-brand LaCroix.
We're sponsored by that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Up and coming.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Anything else on the top of your mind? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's 2000, the beginning of the year. It still feels like that jumping point.
Yeah.
So I'm excited of just all the things that are to come for me personally, but all the things that just could happen is just new opportunities come up, new people to get to know. This podcast, I think, just a lot of fun stuff
Yeah.
to look
Yeah.
forward to.
It is. It is. And if you get busy, honestly, if you get busy with family, and you will, you know, it's okay that we pause this stream. We pause these podcasts. But if you can still do it, that would be awesome. But I
Yeah, man.
really, really like chatting with you and just geeking out about Webflow with you and people in the live chat. It's so fun, and I try to bring as much information that I can say, but also bring as much joy that I feel from the Webflow staff and give it back to you and the rest of the community. So thank you, man. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I love talking about this stuff, and so
Yeah.
it's a fun opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. And to everyone in the live chat room or people watching the recording, thank you. This has been fun. I like this. Oh, what's the name of your cat? Real quick.
This is Peeves.
Peeves. He's your pet? Peeve? Is that correct?
It's not, but it works.
Oh.
He's named after a Harry Potter character.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not into Harry Potter. Does that make me a bad person?
No,
Okay.
it makes you just fine.
Okay, good.
At least in my book. I know some people have a different book, but
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would say you're fine.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We're all
All
good.
right. All right, everyone. We're gonna sign off now. Thank you so much for watching this stream. The podcast happens. What do we say? Once a month or twice? I forgot, dude. It's
I don't know. Twice a month, every week. I don't know.
we can't do every week. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Once a month. Well, let's stick with once a month and
yeah,
maybe figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Probably do twice a month. We'll see, but yeah, thank you all so much. Riley, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is RileyJ_S.
RileyJ_S right there on the screen. Go follow him. Send him a
same
tweet.
thing on Instagram.
Nice. Instagram. Yeah. Go follow him and just see what his life is like right now. You bought that domain name, right?
I need to. I really do.
Yeah.
It's probably taken, and I have to owe like $1 million for it.
All right. And if you haven't subscribed now to this YouTube channel, go ahead and do so. Click that subscribe button. If you like this, honestly, do the thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, no worries. I want that feedback. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. How many YouTubers say that? Hit the thumbs down button.
That's right. You're being different. That's good.
Yeah, I'm being different. Be honest with your clicking of the thumbs, okay?
Yes.
And
click the bell. Don't forget the bell.
Yeah, the bell. That's your choice. How many clicks you want to do? It's also your choice to comment. Actually, don't comment. Just stay silent. I want to be different.
Oh wow.
And I'm not gonna cover the camera like. Okay, I'm just ranting.
Wonderful.
Now. All right, thank you guys so much. I will see you next week, Monday. That's when I'm gonna stream again, but I'll keep trying to put edited YouTube videos. As always, thank you guys so much, and make the web beautiful. See ya.
See ya.